Alright, so my name's Neil. I'm with Bikepackers Magazine, and I will be taking on Jay Petervary's Fat Pursuit up in Idaho this Saturday, starting at 7 a.m. And I just wanted to kind of run through my specific setup. I'm in no way an expert in these winter ultras. I do love bike packing, but these things are hard to prepare for, hard to predict. But I'm really excited, and I think my gear that I have should work well. So starting off with the bike, I'm using a prototype Chumba Ursa Major, which is their fat bike. It's titanium. Um, it's actually a really fun bike, really responsive, um, and I'll talk more about that in a few weeks. But I'm rocking a Salsa carbon fork. I forget the name of it. It's on the Bear Grease, I believe. Let's see here. Nexty carbon rims, the Wild Dragons. They're 90 millimeters. And then I have a Borealis rear hub, 190 rear spacing, 197 with through axle. I have a Hope fat hub up front, and then I have Dillinger 4.0s up front, and then a Husker Du 4.0 in the rear. And this is both the wheels are set up tubeless. And then I'm running the XTR 9000, which I'm excited about. It's been running pretty well for me so far. And then turbine race face cranks with a 28 tooth direct mount chain ring. And then Thompson components, Thompson post, bars, and stem. And I think that covers it. Sella Anatomica saddle. And then XTR pedals. So on the bike, I'm rocking for lights an eye up light up front, a GPS unit, a Garmin eTrex 30, and I'll be putting the track on that with the map so I know where I'm going. And then I have a light up front, a white light up front, which is required, and then a red light in the rear here, which is also required. And there's a bunch of required gear for the race, including I think a 0 degree sleeping bag, bivy, certain amount of water, spot device, lights, extra batteries, and so on and so forth. And I think I have that all dialed in. So let's start with the specific gear. Let's start up front. So up front I have a Bike Bag Dude handlebar bag, and this has my negative 25 degree Western Mountaineering Puma sleeping bag, and that's all that carries. I stuffed it in there pretty good. I'm not going to take it out right now, as I'll have to do that for the gear check and some other prior to the race. But yeah, this works really well. It's really stable on my bike. I've been testing it out for a while. I've used this same system for summer riding, and it's actually a detachable bag. But this sling stays on your bike, which is really nice. Really easy to take on and off, which is the key for me. So that's a Bike Bag Dude. And then I'm using some Dogwood design pogies out of Alaska. They're not the extreme ones, but they work really well. All I need to use is my standard mountain bike gloves underneath it. And it, I don't know if you've never used a pogie, it's fantastic. It creates this microclimate, and it keeps your hands really warm, almost too warm sometimes, and that's why I use standard mountain bike gloves. And then I have this Bedrock bag right here, and this is called the Tap Eats To Go bag, and this is holding I have headphones, my headlamp, which is another required piece of gear, my batteries for my eye-up lights, and one of them's connected. And then I have some backups. And then extra batteries in there, and my cell phone. And I think extra batteries are also required required on the gear list. So that's that. And then I have a Spoke Works stem bag, and I don't have the water bottle, but it's an insulated water bottle that I'll be putting in that. And I tested it last night in about 5 degrees, rode around, put it outside for 3 hours beforehand. The tip freezes, but with like a really quick squeeze. It's one of those Camelback ones, so they defrost really, really well. And then I can also put it upside down, and I'll have like a hand heater in there. So that's that, and then I have this Nuclear Sunrise Stitchworks Titan tank, and this is my go-to for top tube bags because it is so large. Right now I have 3,000 calories in this bad boy, and I'm not going to be bringing all that much more food, and I'll be able to store some more food in here and actually in this top tube bag. But I'm going to be taking, I'm going to be using the drop bag up at West Yellowstone, as well as definitely partaking in the 2 checkpoints and grabbing food. One of them's 30 miles in, and one of them's 21 miles before the end. So I'll be using those, and they have food and water, and I'm definitely relying on those. Not totally relying, as I can definitely boil water and carrying emergency food, but those checkpoints will be nice. Moving on to the frame bag. This is a Wonderlust frame bag. Really nice. It fits really, really well. The frame on the Chumba Ursa Major is a little bit smaller, so the frame bag is a little bit smaller, and so that's why I have to put a lot more in my saddle bag. But it seems to work out well, and this is just stuff that I can access really easily. So in here is a stuff sack full of extra buffs, extra hats, and just some hand warmers and toe warmers and stuff like that. And then, get to this in a second, my extra sunglasses. And so I'm bringing regular sunglasses, regular sunglasses, and then ones for the nighttime. And I'm going to switch them out instead of switching out lenses if it's too cold. This is my repair kit, which pretty much has everything I would ever need in here. And I did an article on bike packing repair kit. Check it out on the website. It's got a whole lot of stuff, probably stuff that I'll never ever use, but you never know. This is a PSI reader, and I probably will be bringing this just to kind of figure out where my PSI is at. But I'll definitely be using this beforehand, testing out the trail conditions on Friday. And then my tube, my pump, and this is a small pump, but it's got this really nice high pressure feature to it. In between this one or a very large one that I have, either way, I'll definitely be carrying a pump. And then the Jetboil. If I'm not, so I tested this out yesterday in like 5 degrees last night, and it worked really, really well. I set it outside for 3 hours beforehand, and the isobutane didn't freeze, and that was the key. Before I used it, I shook it up really well. I put it upside down, and it definitely did not boil the water as fast as it would in the summer, and I think it probably took like 3 minutes, but it still worked, and I definitely could do, I think I could boil water a number of times with this canister. And the reason I'll probably be bringing this is because the weather is going to be a little bit warmer. Otherwise, I am bringing this just in case. I'm going to be white gas, This is an MSR Whisperlight Universal, and my pop mug that I'll be boiling water in. So I have a backup plan just in case the gear checker doesn't okay the isobutane. So that's that, and then my clothes and layers. There's a lot in here, and this is the Porcelain Rocket Mr. Fusion, which is a really interesting bag setup, and we'll be reviewing this down the line. But it's a detachable saddle bag from the actual frame. So it actually has these metal rods that connect to the seat post with a clamp, and it's actually done up pretty nicely. We really like it. It's a beautiful, different design that nobody else is really doing other than Revelate's doing the terrapin, which is kind of similar. But yeah, it's really unique. This is a Cuban fiber bag, and right now I've got a whole lot in here, everything that I would take. I might be dwindling it down a wee bit, but it all depends on the gear checker and what he decides for us. So I guess I'll open this bad boy up and kind of show you what I've got in here. And this in general can get really large. And they can also pack down really small. Right now it's probably like, let's say, in the middle. And then, alright, so I've got my warmer gloves. It might be snowing. Snow showers are in the forecast. So I have my Goretex raincoat. Not only will this be a nice layer if it does snow, but it's also a vapor barrier, keeping the heat in just in case it gets really chilly. And then I have this Mountain Hardwear down coat, which is my go-to. And this extra base layer, which is important for when my other one gets really wet. And then I have this bivy sack, which it's super light, and I'm bringing another one just in case, but it should do the trick. It's the Xscape bivy. And then my last piece, the most important, is this insulated Air Core Big Agnes sleeping bag. Alright, so that's my bag, my saddlebag system. And that's pretty much it for the bike. It's a little heavy, but I think it's better to be safer than sorry, for sure, out there. So let's chat about what's going to be on me. Let me get that. So, get to this. So here are my regular mountain bike gloves that just go under my pogies. Really nice. My cycling cap and my buff. My sunglasses. So this is my layering system for my legs and my long johns, and this craft outer layer, which breathes really well. And I've obviously rode in a little bit of snow, and they're fine. They're not too bad. If it was dumping, I would definitely consider something else. So that's my legs. So I got my bibs. And that goes underneath those. And then my base layer upper long sleeve. My base layer tank, which I actually put on top of the black one. It just wicks a little bit better. And then I will throw on my Griggs Ortho fleece long sleeve jersey, and then my vest. And then my sock system is these long socks, ski socks, and then over them these really thick wool socks. And I bought a boot, 45 North boot, that is I think 2.5 sizes large, maybe even 3. And what I did was I cut out a 40 below over booty and silicone glued it all the way around, so the grips still are in use. My clip, it's a clipless system, so that's still in use, and it just keeps me a little bit warmer. The sock system gives me, it's not too thick, so it gives me, it doesn't constrict any blood flow in my feet, and that should keep my feet a lot warmer. I've used these in really, really cold temperatures, and they are ideal. The system works really, really well for me, and we'll see how it works this weekend. And then that is it for my outside layers. I decided I'm not going to be. Last year at the Arrowhead 135, I wore way too many layers. I was sweating like crazy. And this year, I'm going to make sure less layers. I'm going to start cold, but I'll heat up quickly. I know that, and I think that should work really, really well. And then I have these layers to use just in case it gets cold and when I stop. And then this is my hydration system. This is a 2-liter hydration system. It's the Camelback Octane. It's a Lombard hydration pack. And what's unique about this is that I will be using it with the hydro heater. So this will go underneath my vest. And the hydro heater is a unique heated hydration hose. It takes batteries, and this little piece inside the hydration hose actually defrosts or dethaws the ice that builds up in your hose, and that's where it always builds up. It's always in the hose. It's not usually in the bladder as much, and I guess it builds up a lot in the bladder junction where the hose and the bladder meet. So all you have to do is click this button, and you'll activate it, and it'll heat up, and you get a bunch of cycles out of these batteries. I think you use 8 AAA Ultimate Lithium, so that's a lot of money, but it's important to stay hydrated. So that's my setup. Stay tuned. I guess on Friday we'll have a Fat Pursuit post coming out, and trackleaders.com is tracking the event. So yeah, thanks for listening and watching, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks.